Hi folks, this time we're going to calculate the force of gravity between the moon and the earth using Newton's universal law of gravity. Force of gravity is G, mass of one object, mass of the second object, distance between their centers of mass squared. Now most of the time when you're given a homework problem like this, you are not going to be given all of this lovely data. You're going to have to look it up. Look it up in a table in your textbook or in one of your other formula sheets, etc. So let's set this up. I want to find the force of gravity between the Earth and the Moon. Now, one of the tricks of this, or one of the things you need to do it correctly, is you have to measure the displacement or the radius from the center of one to the center of the other. So before I can shove my numbers into this equation, I've got to find the total distance between the center of mass of the Earth and the center of mass of the Moon. So the radius of the Earth is 6.37 times 10 to the 6th meters. The average Earth-Moon distance is 3.84 times 10 to the 8th meters. The radius of the Moon is 1.74 times 10 to the 6th meters. Now when I add all of those up, I end up with a radius total of 3.921 times 10 to the 8th meters. Please, ladies and gents, if you cannot get this on your calculator, I'll do a little thing at the end of this problem on working with your calculator and scientific notation, because you have to be able to put the numbers into and get them out of your calculator successfully. So if that's my total radius, now I can calculate the force of gravity. So the force of gravity is going to be equal to, and I'm just going to put my numbers right in here. First, it's going to be equal to G, and G is 6.672 times 10 to the negative 11th Newton meters squared per kilogram squared. Mass of the first object, mass of the Moon, 7.36 times 10 to the 22 kilogram, and mass of the Earth, 5.98 times 10 to the 24th kilogram, divided by the distance between their centers squared. Down here, 3.921 times 10 to the 8th meters square the bottom. Okay, take a moment, throw all that in your calculator, see what you get. When I did that, I got 1.91 times 10 to the 20 newtons. If you can put these numbers into and get them back out of your calculator, yay, life is good. If you cannot, let me give you a few hints on working with scientific notation in your calculator. First off, how do you enter some of these numbers? All right, let's talk about how do you enter this number, G, in your calculator. Here's how I would do it. 6.672, and instead of hitting times, now here's where it gets confusing. The problem says times, you don't hit times on your calculator. You want to get in scientific notation. So you would either hit the EE button for exponents. Some of you are going to have to hit second EE, and some of you are going to have a button that's going to say exponent, and it kind of depends on your calculator. Then I would hit negative 11. Now here's where it gets tricky. There's a button somewhere in your calculator that says plus minus or minus plus. You do not put in a negative sign. I know it says negative. I know, but do not hit the button that says negative as if you're subtracting. That's not the button you want to push. The button you want to push is the button that changes the positiveness or negativeness of this number. You're not subtracting. Now, if you want to multiply this by this number, what you put in then is I would say times, and you hit the times button, 7.36 EE or second EE or exponent, whatever you got to do, 22, because this is a positive number, and then times, your times 5.98 EE or second EE or whatever to the 24th, And personally, at that point in time, I would very much like to get an equals. I would equal all of that and then make sure I know what's going on. Then it's divide by, then you hit divide by, what's my number back up there? 3.921, okay. Divide by 3.921 EE or second EE or whatever to the 8th, close parentheses, squared, and then hit the enter or equal button. I hope that helps. Problem is every calculator is a little bit different. If you really are having a hard time getting your exponents into and out of your calculator, please search online. I apologize. I do not know every single calculator out there. I'm pretty good with Texas Instruments stuff because that's what I've used for 30 years, but a lot of the other stuff, you're going to have to search online. Sorry. See you later.